During the 1990s, an Air Force captain stationed in Texas named Gary Sudbrink decided to make a surprise for his parents by visiting them in New York. Without telling anyone, he packed his belongings and drove to the airport to book a flight to New York. While he was in the airport, a mysterious person with a clipboard approached him and started asking really strange questions. Gary described the person as male and of average height. The man asked Gary what's his name, how to spell it, where he's going, and other personal information. Gary thought that the stranger was just some annoying salesman trying to sell him a product, so he ignored him. After Gary boarded the plane, the mysterious man approached him for the second time, sat right next to him, and proceeded to ask him the same questions once again. Gary became angry and told the stranger to fuck off, but the stranger was persistent and kept on asking more questions. Subsequently, the plane crew got involved and forced the man to move away from Gary. Eventually, Gary got to New York and surprised his parents with a visit. While he was at his parents' house, he began receiving phone calls from an unlisted number. When Gary answered the phone, he heard something really strange. Take a listen.
Yes. I'll tell you who it is.
Hello?
Yeah. Do you want to speak to him?
There's Gary's Sudbrink there.
Yeah, who's this? Steven? Are you playing games with me or what? Huh? Steven, if you're playing games, I'm going to kick your ass.
So how long are you going to be back from Texas?
Huh?
You're being impersonated by the other voice.
Yeah, this is you, Steven, you idiot. You're pissing me off. Jerk. I'm going to get you on... Let's see what it says. Review. One new call out of area. Is Steven out of the area?
When are you going to be back from Texas?
Wait, say that again?
You're being impersonated by the other voice.
Wait, hold on. Is Steven out of the calling area or what?
What do I know?
What do you mean you don't know? He's in Queens.
Well, who are you talking to?
I don't know who the fuck.
Hello?
Okay, there was a break. Hold on.
So how long are you going to be back from Texas?
How long am I going to be back from Texas? That question doesn't make any sense.
By the other voice.
Okay. I'll be coming back eventually. I can't tell you when. You should know that question, the answer to the questions, because you seem to know more about me than I do.
What was the purpose of these calls, and what message was trying to be conveyed? Was Gary Sudbrink contacted by intergalactic entities on that day? We will never know. On the 20th of September, 1988, an American author named Dean Koontz was working at his office when he received a mysterious phone call from an unknown individual. When Dean answered the phone, he started hearing what sounded like a distant voice of a woman. The caller only said 2 words, "Be careful," and kept repeating them 3 times. The voice kept getting more distant each time the ominous warning was repeated, and then the line went silent. The voice sounded eerily similar to his mother, but she had been dead for nearly 2 decades. Koontz's number was enlisted, so there's no way it was a prank call. By this point, Koontz had a gut feeling that he had just spoken to his deceased mother. A couple of days later, Koontz went to visit his father, Ray, in the mental facility he had been staying at. Koontz wasn't aware that his father had a fishing knife in his possession. When Koontz came into the room, his father attempted to slash him with the knife, and Koontz had to try to wrestle it away from him. As both of them were wrestling over the knife, a witness saw them and immediately informed the authorities. By the time the police arrived, Koontz had managed to take the knife from his father. The police saw that Koontz was carrying the knife, so thinking he was the perpetrator, they drew their guns and ordered him to drop the weapon. Koontz kept insisting he wasn't the guy they're looking for. but they didn't believe him and ordered him for the second time to drop the weapon. Koontz froze for a second. He remembered the mysterious phone warning he received a couple of days ago. Koontz realized that this was the scenario the caller warned him about, so he immediately dropped the knife. Be careful. In 2007, Courtney Kuykendall's phone began to do really weird and bizarre things on its own. It would often turn itself on, change its ringtones, and send messages to Courtney's friends on its own. After a couple of days, Courtney began to receive mysterious phone calls from someone with a raspy voice. The number that the person called from read, "Unknown." The caller told Courtney that he was watching her and began to describe what she was exactly doing at that moment and even what she was wearing. One of the family's neighbors, Andrea McKay, said that she also received similar calls. According to Andrea, she was cutting limes in her kitchen when a mysterious call came through and the voice on the other end told her, "I prefer lemons." The Kuykendall family contacted the police about the calls and the bizarre things that their phones would do on their own. When the police traced the calls, they discovered something really strange. It appears that the calls were actually made from the family's own phones. What's even more bizarre is that this would happen even when the phones are completely turned off. After a couple of days, the calls quickly escalated into serious death threats. According to Heather Kuykendall, the caller would often tell them, "You're going to die, we hate you, we're going to murder you." The calls came at all hours, threatening to behead every single member of the family and murder everyone that they knew, including their pets. The family bought new phones and even switched their numbers, but chillingly, the mysterious calls continued. Up to today, the identity of the caller remains a complete mystery, despite the best efforts of the police. If you enjoyed this episode, then maybe you should consider subscribing, because I upload episodes like this on a regular basis. Also, it wouldn't hurt if you hit the like button. Thank you for watching.